What is going on, everybody? How's your week going? My week's going pretty good. We're running a little bit late today, so we had about a 15-minute delay. I think other than that, though, we are about ready. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to leave the music on for a little while, just to see what we think of the beats. All right, so this is right where we sort of left off, end of last episode, but I did do a couple of things. I rented these two trailers, right? I rented this Deutzfahr, and I returned a few things to the store. Now, I don't know what happens if you have a worker on a piece of rented equipment, right? Like, okay, well, I just noticed up here, rental period for liner 2700 will end at, this cat. That seems a little bit too loud to me. I don't know, I'm no game design expert, but that seems too loud. Let's go in here and see if we can settle this down. I mean, we're already at 15%. Let's go 10. Let's go 10. All right. So rental period for liner 2700 will end at 1742. So that's in about 5 minutes. And the liner 2700 is the big one. Is that correct? Yep, that's the big one. So that's down at the store. And everything else is up here. Is it not? Yeah, this one is still... Now, can we see how long we have left on this? Is there any way to see what kind of time we have left? Unknown. Unknown. I don't know if we can tell, or if it just gives you a warning before it's about to run out. All right, so this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to put one of our workers in the little class on the little rake and set them loose on field 11, right? And then I'm going to hop in that New Holland Forager. We haven't leased it yet, but I'm going to hop in there. And then these two tractors over here are going to service me and take those out to stall number 3 at the BGA. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I was looking at the clock, and it's 20 minutes to 6, right? It's about 1740. But I'm curious what happens when equipment runs out when we're working with it. I'm also curious what this game looks like at night. I was thinking maybe we just go through till tomorrow morning and then lease everything again. I'm on the fence. Who's lurking? Who's in the chat right now? What do you think we should do? Sleep till tomorrow and start over? Or start with the equipment that we have now and see what happens when the lease runs out? No comment. Either no comment or you're typing furiously. All right, let's just get to work. Let's get to work. So we'll go here, right? We'll go to tasks. New task. Keep going. All right, Ernie, you got it. Field work, drivers, Asta. She's been pretty good for most of what we've had her do. She's been pretty good. And also, oh, you know what else? We also need to find out what happens when a worker runs out. Oh yeah, no worries. No worries. I also want to see what happens when a worker, like when their time is up, right? Like what they do. Do they just disappear? Do we get a warning? Do they go on like overtime or something? Select field. That's going to be field 11. Go back to the farm when you're done. Keep everything built. And we'll just have to keep an eye up in the corner. I mean, I guess it pops up warnings for us, but we'll have to keep an eye out and see what those warnings say, like as far as running out of time on equipment or a worker. All right, Asta, get to work. Now, Asta, I've noticed, has had a hard time making it out of the yard. That's happened several times. So let's see if she makes it this time. And we've got a couple tractors parked right around the corner. So is it going to be okay? It is. Off she goes. Okay, so we need to... Let's get the forage released next. It's the first time I've ever used a mod vehicle. And I noticed something about this when I was playing with it in my sandbox profile. Sent to the farm. Rent that. 100 euro. Now, I was wondering if this, when you see the quality on this thing, I was wondering if this wasn't made by one of the devs. And I'll tell you my thought on that. But this price, I think, means that is not the case. And I'll tell you why. Rent to the farm. There it is. I'd say that's pretty good quality. You know, I mean, it is a different looking game. I was back in 17 today. Oh, no worries, Mad Max. Mad Max Stifler. There's a lot of we got a lot of options with your name. I'm gonna have to figure out what we're gonna call you. I mean, this is a pretty good looking mod. I have, Ernie. I mean, I haven't seen a lot about it, but I'm aware that there is a precision farming DLC coming, and I'm really curious to see what that involves. So, like, looking in here, I mean, this is crazy. I don't know if this is ported over from another farm sim or if this is built from scratch. My thought when I first saw this was one of the devs built this, but because they didn't get the New Holland license, they submitted it, you know what I'm saying? Like on the low. So I don't know exactly what the story is with this mod, but it looks really good. And the only reason, like I said, that I would question whether or not one of the devs made it, and please keep in mind, that is just me spinning my wheels. That is idle speculation. I have no idea. What? I was back in FS17 today, and I've completely, like, messed up my muscle memory. The only reason I would think that this was not made by one of the devs is that you can lease it for 100 euro. You know? So essentially, this is free. This is not costing us anything. And so for that reason, I think it is made by a third-party modder, perhaps somebody in the community or whatever. But I think if one of the devs made it, they would have kept the pricing consistent with something. Well, it wouldn't be as expensive as the Jaguar because it's not as new and probably not as powerful. But you see what I'm getting at. All right. One other thing that I'm really curious about is we're going to have 3 workers on at the same time, plus us. And I really want to see what happens with our frame rate. Frame rate has been kind of all over the place. But that's to be expected. All right. Yeah, it's a really good mod. It looks like it's got a lot of... it's made from a lot of pieces. You know, sometimes you see a mod and it looks kind of Minecraft, right? It's just a box with a texture on it. This looks like it's got a lot of little Blender pieces that somebody put together like one at a time. So there's been a lot of work put into this. I think. I mean, what do I know from mods? But I think there's been a lot of work put into this. All right, so we're going to get down here to field 23. We've got rows in field 23, and then once we get down here, we're going to set up 2 workers, one on the MB track, and one on the the Deutzfahr. Yeah, couldn't remember the other tractor. I read it, and we're going to see if they can handle this task. So we're going to go in here, and something that I noticed when you are assigning equipment. All right, and we will set the brake there. So let's go back here. And I think we've still got, what's his name? Ernst? We've still got Ernst. So when we go in here, we're going to create a new task. And what would we call that? Transport or harvest? I think it's transport. Add station? No. So that's harvest, right? Select field 23. And it's going to PGA stall 3. Maybe. Maybe. Nope. Unload station. Yeah, let's try this. BGP silo 3. I mean, this is talking about a headland. I don't know. I don't think this is harvesting. Let's put a driver on. Oh, we still got Gudula. Forgot about her. Let me see. The MB track with the weight. And then on the back, go with that one. All right. No implement for harvesting. Okay, so it can't be harvest. Add station. Location. Unload. Fill type. Fieldgrass chaff. Is that right? I don't know. I mean, it's not... Is it field work? Is it BGA filling? No, it's not that. It's either transport or field work. Let's try transport. Silo 3, unload, fill type. I don't know. No fill type. We got to put a fill type in there. What is this? Field grass chaff, or is it field grass? Let's try this one. Okay. So when we unfold this thing now, all right. Right button plus B is the right button. Nothing happens. Field grass? Okay. Go here. We don't need to unfold that. Okay, so we're going back to fat finger. We're going back to tasks. And we need to do transport. Show. Oh. Okay. So let's get rid of this one. Delete that. We'll create another one. New task. Transport. Drivers. Ernst. In the MV track. With the weight. Alright. Save that. What did we say? Fieldwork? No, transport. Silo 3. Field grass. Unsupported fill type. So we can only put silage in there? No, I think we put something else in there. Unsupported fill type. Yeah, I think it has to be field grass chaff. How do we call our dude though? I feel like we need to get him. I mean, can we send him to a field? No. All right. So we'll get rid of that one. All right, we got to figure this out. It's not. Or is it? No, there's no way to select a field. But when we go, if we cancel out of this and cancel out of this, when we're back here, I'm not seeing any way to call him. So there's right button plus B. But that doesn't do anything. I wonder if we have to... I think it becomes chaff when we hit it with this forager. But that's going to depend on how the mod maker set it up. Let's try this. Let's try this. I hate to tab. Oh dear. I hate to tab, but let's... Oh, one of our trailers already timed out. Things are going a bit pear-shaped. Let me see if we just need to get the trailer close. Yeah, definitely testing. I mean, I know some of this stuff worked in the tutorials and scenarios, and I did try to pay attention, but they were pretty comprehensive. And we can go back and do them again, I suppose, to refamiliarize ourselves with this. Let's try this. So we'll set the brake. We're gonna hop. I said. Let's just tab. I'm in a hurry. Now this says, yeah, same thing. Right button B does nothing at the moment. Okay. So once again, let us create a task. Does it have... I feel like it could almost be harvesting because it's associated with the harvest, but it doesn't let us select that because it's not a combine harvester. All right, so once again. All right, save that. Do we do this? No implement for harvesting. Yeah, it can't be that one. Is it field work? No valid implement. Okay, it's not that. It's not animal transport. Location, BGP Silo 3. Hey, what's happening? Oh, no worry, Fusion. Yeah, Ernie, I think I'm just going to kind of slam my way through it here. Let me see. Action after task, add station. So we can't select a field. Action after task, keep vehicle combination, recurring route. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're not doing this properly. Underload. Well, let's go 50 then. It does, Fusion. It does. I'm curious how, like, what's going to be involved in it. All right. There he goes. There he goes. Ernst, my man. All right, he is out. I'm at a loss. So we need to bring him back before he goes any further because he's just bouncing. Transport. Delete that. You know what? Baby steps, Fusion. I'm not expecting giants. How do we get back to this field? I'm not expecting giants on day one, and I apologize for the camera. On day one of them sort of experimenting with soil chemistry and that sort of thing, I'm not expecting them to have, you know, the giant killer. Well, so to speak. I did not do that on purpose. I don't do puns. But I don't expect it to be, it doesn't have to be amazing on day one. Let's just see what direction they take it in. Okay, so there are several possibilities here. One possibility is the way that this mod New Holland is configured, this is not going to work. Another possibility is... I remember Soil Mod. I really liked Soil Mod. You know what? Maybe we can do it through here. Call trailer. This is not giving us the option to call a trailer. Let me try this. All right, we just turned it on. Man, I swear, if this is as simple as turning it on. No, it is not. Okay, pipe flaps. Fold in, out, rotate pipe. Dismiss trailer. This is not letting us... Do we need to... There's a problem. It doesn't seem to be picking this stuff up. All right. So that could be the whole problem. That this rig does not pick up grass. Okay. Well, you know what? We're living and learning. So let's take another look. Let's take another look here. Because I would have thought, I mean, when you look at this thing, it looks like it picks up grass. Does it not? All right. Well, then we're going to... all right, we'll do it the other way then. Where's our door handle? There it is. So we will hop down out of here. Oh, that's disappointing. I was really hoping to use this thing. If anybody in chat knows if there's a way that we can pick up grass with this, let me know, because at the moment it seems like we cannot. I mean, another possibility is this thing only holds silage. You know what? All right, let's continue experimenting and see if we can figure this out. So I'm going to hop in here. Let's go... Let's hop right in here, right? Close that. Brake is off. I'm not giving up on the New Holland. The other headers are... One is obviously corn, and the other I think is like a whole crop. Like a green crop header. Let me get up here and I'll show them to you. Another possibility is that it's this trailer. That would be... I would find that a little bit odd. But you know what? Like I said, live it and learn it. So we've got this header, which I believe is a whole crop header. And we've got this, which is obviously maize or corn. But what I think it might be is these trailers. Now, I thought these trailers, you know, a trailer holds anything. But if this is just silage, right? Like, I'm not seeing icons down here to show what... Oh. Look at that. I've never scrolled down to see that before. You can extend your lease. These are the things we learn. These are the things we learned. That's fantastic. You can extend your lease out. Beautiful. Now, let's do that for everything we know we need to keep. Like our rake. We'll extend this out. Right? We'll extend this out. Right. Can we also do that for workers? Staff. Ernst. Okay. We just hired these folks for a few hours, so I don't think there's a way you can... Okay, cool. Here's what I'm wondering right now. This trailer that we have on, I would have assumed that you could put anything in it. It's just a big basket, right? But if it only holds silage, if it's only meant to transport silage, then it may not accept grass, field grass or field grass chaff. So let's lease a trailer that we know we can put that in. I'm sorry, I'm speaking kind of like sporadically right now. Yeah, but it makes you wonder, right? Because in real life, yeah, I'm thinking that's what it means. So let's get the loading wagon, because we know that can hold field grass or field grass chaff because we used it for it last stream. But in the tutorials, I believe you use that when you're picking up when you're harvesting maize for silage. So I wonder. All right, let's pull this thing over here and get it out of the way. We'll rent that other thing and have it sent to the farm. We'll hop back in the New Holland and see if that's been the break in our chain the whole time. That would be, I have to say, I would find that a little bit odd, because like I said, you know, a trailer is a basket. I know there are some things that you don't necessarily want to put into the same trailer. But I was even told by a real farmer that poo is not, it's, cow poop is I don't know, it's not as bad as regular poop, if that makes sense. It's not the worst stuff in the world. So as long as you hose everything out afterwards, it's fine. This thing is what I'm looking for. This thing right here. Let's go 4 hours. Let's go 6 hours. We'll have it sent to the farm, and we'll rent that. Right. Wrong button. There we go. So other than, I mean, maybe if you had like really heavy chemistry in a trailer, you wouldn't want to ever put food in it again, or right, like if you put fuel in a trailer, you can't ever use it for milk again, that sort of thing. But for the most part, I would think that if a trailer could hold one type of grass, it could hold another type. I don't know. We'll find out when we get over there. I saw the nozzle tracking it, but I don't know if that's the reason. You know what I mean? The nozzle was, like the pipe was following the trailer, and we still weren't picking up, but I don't know if the reason we weren't picking up was because there was no place for it to go. All right, and we'll hop back in here, first person. Yeah, so it could have been the reason we couldn't call a trailer is that there was no available trailer. Yeah. You'd think you could put anything in there. Now, there may be some specific rule or, I don't know, limitation in the EU that trailers can only be used for certain things. Who knows? All right, so let's try this again. I do like figuring this stuff out, though. All right, brake is on. We're going to hop out here. Because I was under the impression that if you had a worker, you didn't even really need to... I don't know. You didn't really need to do anything. They just sort of figured out for themselves. All right. So we'll go over here. Where's our door handle? There's a little orange trigger on an orange door. All right. Fire up. Here we go. So, yeah, I think we still need to put somebody on the task. Right? Because if not, they won't know where to go. Like, we can't just call a worker over and then they would know. Ernst. They wouldn't know where to go. They wouldn't know to go to stall 3 at the BGA. So we've got to do, I feel like, at least some part of this. There's that. Add station. 3. Max loading amount. And it's going to be fieldgrass chaff. 40250. Unsupported fill type. Oh, sigh. All right. I don't know what this underload means. Unload BGP silo 3. All right. Let's see what we got here. We're doing something wrong. Something's not. Something is not working the way that it is supposed to. All right. I don't think it's transport. I think that's the... So we want to go here. Did I delete the wrong task? I hope not. Oh no. All right. It's all going tits up on us. This is what happens when I start late. All right. Well, you know what? We have this whole field of grass to work with. So we can put Asta back on that field once we get this sorted out. Once we get this working properly, we can put her back to work. All right. Let's come at this from another angle. Can we do this? If we go in here, can we make a task to harvest selected field 23, driver, Asta, now that she's not doing anything, vehicle, right? right? Save. No, we don't really have an unload station. Go back to the farm when you're done. Will she even be able to do this? Oh. I think the New Holland does not pick this grass up. Alright, that's very disappointing, but so it goes. Okay, we're going to bring this around. We are. So we'll delete that. Alright, we're going to tab in here. Oh man, we've got we've got dead vehicles all over the map. We're just going to park this up right here. And we need to turn lights off. Lights. 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 Why am I not seeing the... I give up. This is the worst farm sim day ever. What? All right. Let's just do something we know works. So we're going to go here. Get Asta back to work in field 11. Field work. Asta. The little class. Bumper. Alright. So field 11. Go to the farm when you're done. Vehicle column. Alright. Well, that was that was interesting. I guess that thing just doesn't pick up this type of crop. I don't know. I mean, I would not have... Alright. I was trying to turn my flashlight off. Now I'm trying to turn my lights off. Let me see. We want... There we go. Alright. Well, that was easy. Yeah, that's... I'm curious why that does not... I did I not? I thought I did already. Yeah, I don't think the AI is able to see the swath. And I was curious if the... So whatever the implement was... Let's get this thing going. So we want like that. And then like so. So right now Asta is on the rake. I was curious if whatever course was generated for that rake activity, that if it kept it in the game file somewhere so that another AI could then follow along. Right? Like even though the width on this thing is 2 or 3 meters and the width on the rake is 5, that like course play, right? That it would sort of lock in that course and then another vehicle could follow it later. But I don't think it does that, and I don't think the AI has any way of recognizing rows when they're on the field, like independently of anything else. So yeah, we'll just finish it off this way. I mean, it's not how I thought the episode would go, but we sort of need to figure this stuff out. And also we are working with a mod. And when you get into mods in any sim, you know, you never know. You takes your chances. but not a big deal. We'll just knock this field out, and if all we do is pick up grass today, then not what I expected, but so it goes. Are you kidding me with the flute? This song, I've got I have like 250 songs in my Epidemic copyright free list, right? And it plays this goddamn flute song like every stream. It's the worst. I mean, I know this is sort of like elevator music to begin with, but this is terrible. Hang on, let me get to the end of this row. Set the brake. Moment. God. Sorry about that. All right. What do we want to do? We want to go this way. I mean, the AI, in fairness, the AI in this game, they are pretty smart. They do figure out quite a bit, but there are going to be limits. You know, at a certain point, there are going to be just things that they can't do. And I think that's one of them. Plus a mod. You know, and you never know how that mod is configured by the mod maker. Not a big deal. I'm curious how much money we get for all this chaff that we're putting up. I really don't know what we're going to get. Well, this rig that we have on right now. This is what you use in the tutorials to accept maize chaff. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if fieldgrass or fieldgrass chaff is an entirely different fill type, or if it has something to do with that mod. I just don't know. What we could do... Oh, no, we can't, because there's no row header for the Jaguar. I was thinking we could try this with the Jaguar since it's not a mod, but there's no row header. All right. Well, there is a mower header for the Jaguar. So what we should have done, in hindsight, what we should have done is reserved one of these fields and hit it with the Jaguar with that other header on it. All right, we'll know for next time. I also sold the Cokerling Rebel. We got 20 grand for that. That's why we have 15,000 still in the bank account. And I think that will carry us through until we can begin selling some of the silage that we're making. So, yeah, I'll just try to regroup at this point. I'm so scattered, man. When things like this happen in a live stream, I get all emotional. Now what are we gonna do? And I really did, all week I was thinking about using that New Holland. I've heard good things about it, but it's the first time I've tried to use it. So it goes. And also there is another, I thought it was like a little loading blower, but it's a single row corn header or corn harvester. It's like a little tiny corn harvester, corn forage harvester. It's one row wide. So I don't know what the advantage of that would be. I mean, it's significantly cheaper than buying the Jaguar, but you can rent the Jaguar for not too much. I don't know what that other thing is intended to be used for. I'll show it to you. This thing right here. Where is it? Here. This thing right here just forages a single row of corn. I mean, and it's still 32 grand, but you can rent it. Well, I mean, you can buy it for 32 grand, but you can rent the Jaguar for 12 hours for 4,500. I mean, that's money, but I don't know what the purpose of that other implement is. I suppose if you were playing realistically, or if you wanted to play with like a small horsepower farm. All right. But yeah, I rented one and brought it up here and tried to pick up grass row with it, and it wouldn't pick it up. Now, this is, I want to see how this goes here, because we've got both green and gold grass in the same row. So let's go third person and see. Is that picking everything up? It is. Okay. Now it's calling the fill type that we have in here field grass silage, but it's not silage yet. I would think that this would be field grass chaff. Put it in front of tractor and have a trailer on the back. Okay, so it's so you can harvest corn for silage as a one-person operation. Is that the advantage of it? Excuse us while we drive through this little bush right here. All right, and we are, that's 96%. 97. 98. Are we gonna make it to the end of the row? Probably not. 98. 99. Maybe. I don't want to clog this thing. We made it. All right. So we'll lift that and turn it off and head back to, if you can't afford the Jaguar. Yeah, that's, I mean, the rental prices in this game, I don't know. If I was balancing the economy, I feel like sometimes you need to, in a video game, in the same way that you can compress time, right? So it's not completely realistic, but it makes the game playable. I feel like you need to sort of mess with the economy and make prices not realistic, right? Like different than the real world to keep the game playable. And I know as affordable as things are, I mean, it's cool to own equipment, and there are some advantages to owning equipment. Like we got that little class because one of our workers is going to be heading down to the VGA every morning at 6 a.m. And we can't lease that thing every single day. So we had to buy something that can take a front loader, and I didn't want to get the Scorpion because then all you can do, right? Scorpion has one use, the little class has several uses. So I think in that circumstance, it makes sense to buy a tractor. But for the most part, as affordable as it is to rent in this sim, I think you can make a lot more money if you just rent everything all the time and never really buy anything. And since part of the fun of a game like this is kind of building a fleet, maybe the pricing would need to be adjusted so that leasing was not as advantageous to maybe encourage people to want to buy more equipment, if that makes sense. I don't know. I might not be saying that right. But sometimes I think prices need to be like the fuel prices in ETS and ATS. I was noticing that you can get you can use your skill points to improve your fuel economy. But I feel like once you cross $500,000 in the bank, fuel doesn't matter anymore, even if you have drivers on. You know, even if you have a dozen drivers, fuel prices, you're making so much money, it doesn't really matter. So I don't know if they would ever balance the economy a little bit to be unrealistic, but more, I don't know, more challenging or more playable. All right. And we want to go here. Oh, getting a little side hill in the pit. I was not anticipating that. And we could have checked on the way out, but I didn't see if Asta started again on field 11 or if she picked up where she left off. Oh, look at this. A little bit of light coming through the trees. This will be nice, and I'm glad we did continue working because I'm really curious what the game looks like at night. I took a quick spin around the map at night when it first dropped, but I haven't worked at night. So as far as seeing what the frame rate does, or what some of the draw distances look like, I have not really seen that. So we'll work at night a little bit. And I think we may be able to get one more cut this year, because it's only, it's the end of August. If the grass grows in 60 days, could you cut grass in November? I would think you can. Depending on where you are in the world. Well, yeah, that's going to depend too. Because there's a lot of different biomes in Germany. I think if you were up at any kind of altitude, November would probably not going to see a lot of growth that time of year, but if you were down a little bit lower, down to the south, maybe we'll get another cut. Unknown. And what I want to do with the money that we make from this silage, I want to buy back those 4 fields on the other side of the farm, the 4 small ones that we started with, and I want to get them fixed, you know, get the chemistry adjusted and grow crops in them. Those were sort of our starter fields. We made a lot of mistakes in them. When I say we, I mean me. I made mistakes in those fields and figured a lot of things out, but they're very close to the farm. They're very convenient, and I'd like to have them back. Second baling. Now, are they done for the year, or will they get one more before the snow flies? And I guess, you know, I forget. I tend to think of Texas as very, very deserty, but there are some places in Texas that are much higher altitude. Our workers sort of scattered these rows all over the field. All right, let's just do this one. All right. And this field, I'd say it's half the size of the other. Yeah, so hopefully this won't take too awful long. And what we can do is once we get the cover on, if we get the cover on today, then we can just skip time until that's ready and start selling it. I was not anticipating doing that today, but you know what? Sometimes that's just how things work out. I will take it. And, well, oh, no, I don't necessarily want to do that. Okay. Sorry. I take that back. I was thinking we could just skip time till the silage was ready, but we're going to need to fertilize these fields. Wow, this game is going to be... I have a feeling this game is going to be very time intensive. Goes dormant. Soil temps get somewhere in the 60s. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yep. So right across here. Our pickup is picking up. Okay. Yeah, that sounds almost like Central Valley. Whereas as temperate as it is there, the growing season is still relatively short. And when I think of the Central Valley, well, before I lived in California, when I thought of the Central Valley, I thought it was like Mediterranean. But the growing season is a little bit shorter than that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm in North Carolina at the moment, and it is... Coming here from the mountains was definitely a shock to my system because the humidity is... It's not necessarily hot, but it's that humidity, and it never gets really cold. Yep, I lived in Oklahoma for a couple years, and I was amazed how cold it got in Oklahoma. And again, you know, before I lived there, I tended to think of Oklahoma as sort of like high desert, high plains, but they get that. There's like a funnel. I found this out when I lived in Oklahoma. There's like a funnel directly from the North Pole to Oklahoma, and they get these unbelievable winds and ice storms that just come straight down from Canada and just freeze everything. I was not expecting that. All right, this is... I mean, we're making progress. This is not how I expected the episode to go, but we are making progress, so I'll take it. Dallas. Okay. Yep. I've spent time in Houston. I've spent a lot of time in Dallas. I worked with a company that had... One of our partners had offices there. And we did have to fly back and forth to Dallas, but all I did there was work. And I know the airport, and I know a steakhouse called Del Frisco's. We had some kind of deal with Del Frisco's. All we had to do was walk in, and they knew us by name, and I never saw a bill. Anytime we went to Del Frisco's, that got sent straight to our bookkeeper. I didn't see a lot of snow in Oklahoma the time that I was there, but I did see one ice storm that was surreal, the damage that it caused. Yeah, Del Frisco's it's one of the better steakhouses that I've been to anywhere in the U.S. I really did like it. And they had great cigars. They had great whiskey. Different time in my life, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, and I think we've got enough of the headlands done that we can start just focusing on these lengths. Yep. So we did what, nine trips in field 23, so we should do 4, maybe 5. Epic ice storm, same year as the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's... I mean, when you're setting up an event like that, you get insurance, right? But you don't want to get insurance for everything. It costs you a fortune. Right? You might not even make money. But you got to get insurance for some things. So I always wonder, right? Like, there are things that you're not going to get insurance for. You're just going to risk it. And there are other things you're definitely going to get insurance for. But the ones in the middle, right? Things that are sort of unknown. Those are the ones I wonder about. Because you know there's somebody that's going to be very much an I told you so person. If there's some type of calamitous, right? You didn't get insurance for it. I mean, look at what Japan is trying to sort out with the Olympics right now. They spent billions with a B. And I mean, who saw a global pandemic coming? So they're trying to sort it out. They're supposed to have them next year or something. They're essentially just going to delay them 1 year. And as hectic as it always is getting everything done for any Olympics, I wonder if that's not in some ways a blessing in disguise. So we'll lift that, we'll turn it off, and let's make our way down to the VGA. Yeah. Yep. And when that happened when I was in Oklahoma, the strangest thing about it was the ice came and then it didn't go away. Right? There was a part of me that thought, well, as quickly as it got here, right, there was a cold snap. Right? It was warm and moist, and then there was a cold snap. That's how we ended up with all this ice. So then we'll just have a warm snap. And that's not what happened. By the time it did melt a few days later, there were so many trees down and so many power lines down. It took probably 2 to 3 weeks for everything to get back to normal. Yeah. Yep. Same thing in, well, the year I moved to Mammoth, they got 720 inches of snow. So it was a banner year, and at a ski resort, that's a very good thing. That's a lot of powder days. But the snow removal equipment in Mammoth is, I mean, I used to take smartphone video of it because it's crazy. It's the biggest snow removal equipment I've ever seen. And once or twice a year, they will be, because they plow everything to keep the roads open, and then later, like middle of the night, these great big snow blowers come through mounted on Caterpillar Graters, right? So it's a grater with a 10 or 12 or 15 foot wide snowblower on the front of it, snow thrower, and it throws it out of a chute into a dump truck, and they just cycle the dump trucks through, sort of like carts servicing a combine harvester. So they keep the snow off the roads while it's falling, and then later they remove it all. And when those graters come around a couple of times a year, they're so big and so powerful, they will eat part of a car. So there was a car parked by the side of the road. When they started plowing, the car got completely buried in the snow. And when the graters come around, the only way that the operator knows that there's a car in the snow is when sparks start coming out of the chute. Because the blades on the snow thrower are like ripping the bumper and the rear end of the car off. So that is the biggest snow equipment I've ever seen. It's amazing. And then you go to a place like Atlanta where they've got like 2 salt trucks. And their policy is, when we have a bad snowstorm, just hunker down, right? Just hunker down, because there's really nothing we can do about it. They keep the roads open for emergency vehicles, and I know fire departments have quads and things that they use for getting to people when the roads are bad. But for the most part, in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, when there's bad weather, just wait it out. Oh, if you Google Mammoth snow removal or Mammoth Lake snow removal, it is the craziest rig. The first time I saw one come by, I mean, you can hear it coming a couple blocks away. And the streets are fairly small. It's a little resort town in the mountains. The streets are fairly small, and here comes this thing down my street, and it's like as big as a house. And that's how they get rid of snow in Mammoth. But yeah, when your snowblower is big enough to eat a car, that's right. That's a big snowblower. All right, back here. All right, can we go now? We hit a save game just as we got to the waypoint. All right, I'm going. I don't care. I'm going. Yeah, I do miss living in the mountains. I hope to be back there soon. But I think I feel more at home in the mountains than anywhere else. And the downside, though, I have to say, the downside is... yeah, did you find the big grater? The big Caterpillar Grater? And it's got... so on the front of it, it's got that big blower. But it doesn't have enough power to run it, so hanging off the back of it, it's got a mobile generator as big as a van. Yeah, it's amazing equipment. I love heavy equipment. I always have, since I was a little kid. I mean, I know all little kids love heavy equipment, but I never grew out of it. I still love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about that now. I'm reminiscing to be up in the village at Mammoth in the evening, having dinner or something, and you look up on the hill and you can see all the groomer crews working up on the mountain. Oh, it's good times. I love the mountains. Yeah, it's mental. I mean, 720 inches is 60 feet of snow. is an almost unbelievable amount of snow to imagine. And now it doesn't all come at once, but a good snowstorm in Mammoth is 3 or 4 feet, and it's not even really that big a deal. It's a snowstorm, but you're living at 7,500 feet, and that part of California it's not quite rainforest, but it's very, very moist, and you get the Alaska Clipper coming down. So yeah, 3 feet of snow, 4 feet of snow is not that unusual multiple times per year. Yeah, it's crazy. And that's where, when they still, those are areas where they still remove the snow. There are plenty of places where when it snows beyond a certain point, they just close the road for the season. It's impossible to keep it open. Just the volume of the snow and also the avalanche danger. One of the downsides to living in towns like that is internet, though. It's like taking a step back in time. 10 years, 15 years. Internet is very often very slow. And if there's one pipe going into town, then on Friday and Saturday night, when there's a bunch of tourists in and everybody's streaming Netflix and porn, good luck. Your speeds will be, like I said, it's like 15 years ago. 1 meg. 1 meg? What am I going to do with 1 meg? All right, so we got our little half row here. All right. And we'll get flipped around here. Oh, here's a little stray bit. We can gather this up. There we go. So we've got one worker on, and the frame rate is low. We're at about 25 to 30 FPS, but for the most part, it's pretty smooth. It's not stuttering, really. Part of your neighborhood. Sounds like it's part of the neighborhood that you're not in. Do they plan to send fiber to everybody, or are you just out? Oh, yeah. I'm on the fence about whether or not internet should be a regulated utility. I mean, at this point in 2020, I would say that internet is a necessity. No different than water or electricity. But I'm also not crazy about the idea of I'm not knee-jerk opposed to regulation, but I have no idea what that would look like if they made internet a regulated utility, right? That every home got a minimum speed by law. I don't know where I'm at with that. Yeah. Now there was talk like maybe 10 years ago that like every intersection would have essentially a high-powered Wi-Fi point, and that everybody in the neighborhood, they wouldn't need to run fiber to every neighborhood. They wouldn't need to hook up everybody's home. There would just be this high-powered Wi-Fi point, and everybody in that like 1 block area would just log on to that Wi-Fi point. But that never happened. We're still sending copper, primarily copper, but in some cases fiber into people's homes. I don't know. I brokered dark fiber for a while, and I know when we were, well, the reason I was brokering dark fiber is when they lay in glass, the glass itself is so cheap, it's purchasing the right-of-way and sending the crew out that is the big expense. So when they lay in fiber optic cable, rather than laying in a bundle of 50 or 100 strands, they would lay in like 2,000. Because the glass itself is really not very expensive. And they were kind of future-proofing, but also they didn't want to have to send another crew out in 5 years. So the amount of fiber optic capacity, like buried all around the country, is just astounding. And all these years later, we still really don't seem to be able to make the most of it. I was on my last condo, I was on Google Fiber for a while. And I have to say that anything Google related, anything Alphabet related, worked so much faster than anything else. Like YouTube is a dream with Google Fiber. But Netflix, not so much. So I do think there's some throttling going on. We're at 95% right here. 96%. Almost 97%. So I'm just going to call it right there and we'll head down. And I think when we get back, we've got a few more passes on this field and it's done. Then we'll go check on Asta. And then, I mean, what do we want to do? I think this episode, it like I said, it did not go the way I planned. But I would say we finish up the grass and clamp it, get a cover on it. And I don't know if we want to start fertilizing this grass, because I don't know if it's even going to be, if we're going to get another cut this year. I mean, we could split the difference and not fertilize it and not try to cut it, and then fertilize it next spring. Yeah, because I think we're going to make some good money with the silage that we have been able to put up. So yeah, let's not get greedy. Let's not try to get another cut this year. We'll just get this all packed up and then skip time and start selling this stuff. You know, Fusion, I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume that it does. I don't know if it snows, but we'll do that this episode. We'll get all this grass put up carefully. We'll get all this grass put up, and then we will skip time. And let's see what the world looks like in December, whether it has snow. I assume the trees will be bare. But let's see if we have grass on the ground or anything else. And that will also tell us the status of our field grass, whether it grew again. I don't think there are any places in Germany temperate enough that you'd be able to harvest all year. Carefully. All right. I'm really enjoying the mechanic of loading the pit. It's maybe a little bit more arcadey than Farm Sim, but it's a lot more pleasant. All right, there is that. Oh, you know what? Our grass may wither. I hadn't thought about that. It may start growing since it's only August, but come October, November, whether we've cut it or not, it may wither and then grow back in the spring. Unknown. We'll find out momentarily. All right, get Wade. I was in FS17 today. Somebody sent me a couple of maps that they built. They asked me to take a look at. I did. They're great maps, by the way. If that person shows up, I would like to talk to them about it. But it's the first time I've been in 17, Farming Simulator 17, in probably 6 weeks. And I don't play 19 anymore. I uninstalled it. So that's the first time I've been in the Farm Simulator franchise, really since Cattle and Crops dropped. And it's a different kind of game. It is. I still love it, but it's definitely very different. And our frame rate is taking a beating, but I don't know if you're noticing this, but the game is looking better and better the later it gets into evening. It's going on 7 p.m. now. I think the game looks great with that low light coming through the trees. I imagine as comprehensive as the rest of the game is, that there will be some pretty robust seasons behavior implemented. I can't imagine there wouldn't be. All right, so we go a little bit. We've been turning sort of like toward field 12. But let's head all the way over. Unknown, William. I don't know at this point. You may take a look either on Steam or on the developer's website. But at this time, I personally don't know. I know it's got a ton of scripting, but hard to say. All right, and we've got, just a few more rows here, and they're getting shorter and shorter as we get further to the west. There we go. Did we lower? We did. Oh, all right. Now I'm curious what that precision farming for FS19 looks like. I wanted so much to like 19. I really, really looked forward to it, and it was... I played 15 for just a couple months before 17 came out. I really didn't have a handle on the game. Wasn't quite clear, what I was meant to do. I didn't really understand the equipment. I didn't know anything about farming, sim or IRL. And I feel like I learned some of those things in 17. So when 19 came out, it was the first time that I felt like this is, like, I can fully participate in this process. I am a sim farmer. And I had really high expectations for that game. And I would never fault a developer for doing what they have to do. It was disappointing, but it's not my company, Giants needs to do what Giants needs to do. But it was disappointing. In the same way that, I don't know, the new Grid was kind of disappointing. Project Cars 3 was kind of disappointing. For me personally, there's nothing wrong with those games. They're just moving in a direction different from what I expected. FS19 when it dropped. I know they had to move more in the console direction, and that's why a lot of things got left out. Or that's what I've heard. Seasons, there was no way that they could include seasons because of console. But it makes you wonder if they couldn't come up with some... the functionality of seasons in a way that console could accept it, right? That they would not need to use scripting, and that they could make something Microsoft and Sony compliant, something that could run safely. All right, so I don't even think we're going to fill up on these last 2 rows. So what we'll do is head over to where Asta is working. and just top off before we drive over there. Yeah, the game's looking really nice with the sun like that. Tractor is stuck. Thank you, Max. Stand by. Moment, please. Vehicle is stuck. That is very cool. All right. I mean, it's a small warning. I wouldn't mind a bigger one. All right. Fortunately, I think she was done and on her way back. So we'll just hop in here. All right. All right. Okay. So she is done. All right. So that field is, that's 100%. And, uh-oh. Let's try this again. There we go. Yeah, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that warning come in. Curious. So we'll grab this last row. We'll grab a little bit from field 11. Field 11, where Asta was working. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. We just gathered up this whole field. Rather than gathering up a whole other field, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's do something different. So we're not loading grass the entire episode. All right. And if we, yeah, we'll just drive between the fields. No need to head to the road. I don't know if row that you leave on the field decays and goes away, or if it'll still be there next spring. I would assume it goes away, but we'll find out in time. Yeah, we've got no workers working right now, and we're still at 20 FPS. That is a little concerning. All right, so when we get over here, let's do a couple things. Let's take a look at our field chemistry first and see what these fields look like now that we've harvested them. So we'll start with field 12. So we want to be at 215, 97, 292. Potassium is still, I would say, pretty good. So we need like 50 nitrogen and call it 30 phosphate. So 60-30. So 2 to 1. Is there a 2 to 1? Let's get this dropped off and we'll take a look. All right. Turn that back on. Because I'm thinking, well, no, I take that back. I was thinking we could start fertilizing these fields this year. And even if they didn't mature and we mow them this year, we would at least still have a fertilizer on them. But if they wither, then do we need to start over again in the spring anyway? Unknown. I guess I just don't know if we'll be able to get a third cut. I would say the safest play is to just leave them. Let them do what they do, and then we'll fertilize them in the spring. But we need to be, yeah, now I'm second guessing myself. We need to be mindful of the fact that how we fertilize also determines to some extent how quickly the fields grow. Because you remember field 11, this field that we're in, I screwed up the potassium and it grew significantly slower than field 12. Right? It was still green when field 12 was kind of golden green. So, right? That's a tough one. If we fertilize these fields, will they be ready to harvest this year again? Or are we just wasting fertilizer? Unknown. Is there? No. Okay. So let's flip around here. And we took 4 down from the other field. So that's 160 and we had 350. So there's $500,000 in there now. And we've still got what's in the trailer and the rest of this field. I say we get to 650, 700,000 liters before it's all said and done. That's quite a bit. I mean, there's some big fields, but I think we got our fertilizer just right. So hopefully this represents, I don't know, an appropriate yield for these fields. All right, and that is perfect. 99%. So let's head over to, I'm going to head over to the VGA, and then when we come back, I'm going to go to the farm, take a look at the fertilizer calculator, and see if there is a 2-to-1 nitrogen to phosphate that we can put on those fields now. Oh yeah, that's a very good idea. So rather than trying to get another crop out of it, just call it research. Okay, I like that. Because we're not just going to fertilize once. If we were to start this process, we would need to continue fertilizing this crop, this grass, regardless of whether or not it was going to be withered by cold. You know what I mean? And if we start fertilizing it tomorrow morning, we're going to continue fertilizing it, whether we ever get to harvest it or not. And I think, let's try going right down the middle. All right. Very active physics. Now should we, oh dear. Now should we have been compacting this a little bit the whole time between layers? Or can we just come in at the end and do all our compacting then? All right, here we go. And we've got, yeah, we've got 15 grand. Now we've got all that 2010-10 and K60, but I don't think, well, the 2010-10 obviously won't work because it's got the potassium component, and the K60 won't work because our potassium is not too far from where we want it to be. So I don't think we need to mess with that at the moment. Let's head back to the house and see if there's a 2-to-1 that we can get Asta started on. Let's go field 23. It's smaller rather than, can't be the field we're working in, and I don't want it to be the big field 12. So let's have her start in field 23. Okay, I like this plan. It's a good idea, Max. And all this equipment is going to clear out when the leases are up middle of the night tonight. All right, stop right here. And right here, like so. All right, we need a 2-to-1. And I'll try to get in close so you can see this. We want 2-to-1. That's 1-to-2. 1-to-2. 2-1-2. 2-1-2. This could work. No, that's not really going to work. All right, we'll just go one at a time then. So if we go here, field 23, we need, call it 60, we need 55 kilograms per hectare of nitrogen. So we would say 55. Okay, that's 54, so that works. So we'll tell Asta. Is that right? 200 of N27. Yep, that's right. So we will tell Asta field work. Asta. All right. In the little class. Oh, we need to do this first. Moment, please. We need to do this first. Come here. Need this thing. Rent. Okay. Now back here. Fieldwork, Asta. The little class. Select. Select. It's one of these. There it is. And she's going to work in field 2-3. Doesn't really matter what the work width is. It's 200 kilograms per hectare of nitro chalk. Is that right? I think I remembered all that correctly. Keep vehicle combination. Yeah, I don't think it matters how wide her spray is, as long as the kilograms per hectare is correct. Okay. So hopefully... Oh dear. Alright. Man, AI does not like this yard. I feel like we need to always have them somewhere else for a starting point. The only time I've seen them really get kind of balled up is in this yard. Alright, so we're going to hop right in here. Can I sneak through here? I think I can. Alright. Now, in fairness, we do have a lot of equipment that doesn't need to be here, so I can be more mindful of this in the future. Keep our yard sort of cleared out. All right. That goes there. Pardon me while I tab. Golly, Asta. The hostility. All right. There she goes. All right, and I'm going to X out of all these just to make some room. There we go. All right, back to work. So what I'm hoping is, I don't know how long it will take her to do that field with the nitro chalk, but what I'm hoping is that when she's done, we can then have her do phosphate. And ideally, she gets done with those layers of fertilizer just as I get done picking up field 11, and then we can focus on getting this all compacted. All right. Come out here. Oh, easy. And then back over here. I think this is where we started going the other way. Yeah, we did. It's a little bit after 7 p.m. I'm delaying turning the lights on. Try to keep the frame rate up. Overcord, how you doing? I'm really liking it. That's different. No field work needed. Nothing to do on field 23 with my current machine. Stand by, please. Field 23. So is this because... Oh, okay. It is... What is its current status? I mean, the nitrogen is low, but it's not letting her do anything. Oh, okay. It's still got a BBCH of 88. I wonder if we can't do anything until it starts growing again. Okay. Well, living and learning, figuring it out. And I guess, yeah, I guess that would make sense. That you can't fertilize a crop when it's just been harvested. Can you? I don't think you can. Got to let it sort of calm down a little bit. Okay. Well, I hadn't considered that, but in hindsight, yeah, that makes sense. So let's see what happens to this. We will, we'll go ahead and finish off getting this loaded into pit number 3. And then we'll, I don't know, sleep for a couple weeks, let it ferment a little bit, and see what these fields look like after they've calmed down. All right. And we'll just leave her where she is. Because again, overnight, everything will go away. All those trailers, the broadcast spreader, the rakes, this thing that we have on, everything will go away. We'll have a lot more room to work in the yard. Yeah, what do you think, Max? Is that accurate? It feels accurate. I didn't think about it, but... Right? Everything would need a little time to sort of... It's kind of exhale. This grass has just been cut. It's been, I mean, for lack of a better word, it's been sort of traumatized. It's got to heal a little bit and start growing again. Yeah, that makes sense. Lighting is struggling, maybe a little bit. Seems like we're having, I wouldn't call them issues, but the lighting is a little bit interesting right now. I like that even though things have really not worked out the way that I anticipated they would several times in this stream, the game itself is still very satisfying to play, and it's not frustrating in any way. Right? Everything that's occurred as we've been in this stream, my thought has been, oh, okay. Well, we'll just need to figure out how it does work then. But there hasn't been anything that's happened that's made me feel like, you know, the game is broken, or the developers are being lazy, or that doesn't make any sense. Why would it do that? I think it's just a very complicated game, and it's going to take us some time to learn all the ins and outs of it. All right, so let's flip around 270 degrees and head down this row. Down this way. Right down here. Yep. Yeah, I want to say 3 Overcord. I think there have been 3 updates. Primarily bug fixes. I haven't seen any new equipment. Obviously, we're still on the original map, so I haven't seen anything in the way of expansion or additions. But it seems like they're pretty aggressively trying to squash bugs and just optimize the game. Okay. I wonder if it's that detailed, right? Like that we can't throw nitro chalk on it. Because I know, I mean, applying fertilizer, if I was looking for a way to describe it, I'm not a farmer. Obviously, I'm not a farmer. If I was looking for a way to describe it, I would say it's a little bit like being medicated. You know, it's going to have some side effects, and it might make you a little bit sick. It might make you not feel so good, but ultimately it does benefit you. But it's a pretty strong chemical process that you're applying to those little plants. So I'm curious if the game is detailed enough where you could not apply even something as sort of benign as just straight nitrogen, but you could apply something a little bit more organic like bull slurry. Curious. Nothing would surprise me about this game. Yeah, I don't know about expansion for this game, honestly. I don't know if the devs have... I'm not like throwing any shade on the devs, but I don't know if they have the staff to expand the game at the moment as far as building another map or anything. I just don't know if they can. And I personally have been a little bit... I don't know when we're going to see a lot of mods for this game. And I said this last stream. If I'm wrong, by all means, please do let me know. But it seems like to build a mod for this game, you have to license C4 Tombstone to yourself so that you can unpack the TEX files. I didn't find another way to do it. And I'm pretty savvy, bit of an IT guy. And I could not find any way to open a TEX file other than having C4 Tombstone running on your own machine. So I think that would certainly put people off of modding if you have to invest several $100s and learn a new technology to be able to mod. And I don't know if that is foresight on the part of the developers that they only want serious people modding, or if it's, you know, they just happen to pick C4 Tombstone. That's the engine they went with, and one of the limitations of that engine is if you want to read the files that the game is built on, you've got to have C4 running on your machine. Unknown. And we are going to, let me see, 97. We're going to make it to the end of this row. 98. 98.8. Beautiful. No waste. And when I say foresight on the part of the developers, I do feel that if it's too easy to mod a game, the landscape gets very cluttered with, you know, 200-foot wide grain headers and combine harvesters that go 75 miles an hour and hold 100,000 liters. You know, really anybody that can edit an XML file can tweak a mod in either Farming Simulator or in Truck Sim. I know you can make some changes in the XML files for this game, but I feel like you can't really get into doing a whole lot without some more advanced knowledge than just editing an XML. I don't know. I don't know if they planned it that way or it just worked out that way. Hang on, I gotta stop and read the chat. Oh, cool. Okay, Max. I'll swing in there afterwards. I know I had seen an approximate timeline maybe a month ago, but I hadn't seen an updated timeline. You know, mod support, if you're making a farming simulator, I think you have to know who you're going to be, not necessarily competing against, but you have to know what the landscape looks like. And the landscape is more or less the Giants Farming Simulator franchise. And a big part of the Giants Farming Simulator franchise is mods. It's just a fact. If you wanted to make a truck simulator, you know, a big part of Truck Simulator is mods. It's just a reality. So I think making your farming simulator mod friendly is crucial. And I don't know that this is necessarily the most mod friendly game at the moment. Now that could be by design, it could be just the way things worked out. But at the moment, it seems like modding is kind of a handful. And there is a leveler that we can rent, and I think we should. When it comes time to smooth this out, I think we should. All right. One more trip, maybe two more. I think we're going to finish up right around sunset. Well, it's sort of sunset now, but you know what I mean. It'll be getting dark when we're finishing. Streetlights are on. We're at about 30 FPS. Ugh. How low is it going to go? Let's turn some lights on and find out. We're going to have to do this at some point, so let's just bite the bullet. So we've got parking lights. We've got low beams. Let's start with these. And we won't go to work lights until we have to. Okay. I mean, no drop at all when I turn the lights on. And it doesn't seem to be chopping or stuttering or anything. Okay. Oh, and yeah, I didn't respond earlier when I saw your comment over Cord, but between the vehicles and the maps, the way that the maps have to be laid out with all the splines for AI, I think making mods for this game is a lot more complicated, a lot more than what we're used to. And I don't know, I mean, modders are real modders, professional modders, that's maybe not the right word for it, but people that do things at a high level of modding. You know, the kind of people that invent new techniques and new ways of doing things in modding. The people that operate at that level, I don't think they would necessarily be put off by that, but it is a lot of work. It's a lot of time. And if you do the math and calculate that, you know, creating a team of one creating a map for Catalan crops, and this is just I'm just going to pick a number out of thin air. I have no idea, but if you find out it's going to take you, 1,000 hours to make a map, maybe that works for you, maybe it doesn't, depending on what you have going on in your life. So who knows when we'll see mods. And I think, yeah, we're going to finish up with this field. I'm going to stop down at the BGA and sleep through the night. I don't think, I'm curious, I'm pretty sure, but I'm curious to see if we leave something in the pit overnight uncovered, do we lose any volume of it? Or once it's in there, is it in there? But I'm going to leave it overnight so we're not working in the dark. I'll lease the roller tomorrow. We'll get that compacted, get a cover on it. And then I guess sleep for a couple weeks and see if these fields will take fertilizer. See if they're growing again. I didn't make that turn tight enough, so we'll do this row. That's it. Planned it that way all along. And I need to have a little sip of water here. I haven't seen, and I don't know if anybody ever plans to have something like Follow Me, but I think Follow Me would work if you could tell this implement, right? If you could tell this loading wagon to follow your rake, that would work, right? I know I've done that in Farm Sim, but I don't think there's a Follow Me feature in the game at the moment. If there is, I haven't used it. I'm not familiar with it. And we can, let's try this now. High beams, we want rear work lights. What's that look like? Okay. And let's, when we do the next row, let's take a look and see if these lights shine through solid objects. I know that's not that big of a deal. It's not a total deal breaker, but it's kind of immersion breaking in a sim. Let's see. So we'll go right in here. Drop that, third person. Hard to say. Nope. Looks like that the implements do have, I don't know, light physics. What's the word I'm looking for? Light doesn't go through them. Be very cool if that was the case. All right, there is 85%. I think we're going to fill this up, and then we'll need to come back one more time, and that'll be it. Bad. I'm kind of over picking up grass. I don't know if you're getting that vibe from me, but we have picked up a lot of grass the past couple days. All right, this is a monster row. What's happening right here? Did Asta not rake this? Seems to be what happened. See if we can get it in 2 passes. All right, there's 85%. This could be where we interrupted her. Now, it's very interesting. When we interrupted her, did she come back and do everything that was not raked yet? That would be a really big deal if she did, because that would tell me that the AI can see crops on the field after they've been cut. All right, turn that off. Let's be good, safe citizens. Turn those off. You know what I mean? If she only worked where she had not worked previously, then there has to be some way the AI can detect that. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and it was just like a weird coincidence or something that there was half a row unraked. But it looked like, it's got me wondering. I'm going to try something after we unload this. And if I'm right, I'm going to be kicking myself for not trying this sooner. I think maybe I did try this sooner. I think maybe I tried it off camera or something, but let's get this unloaded. And I'll show you what I'm thinking. This is starting to spill out a little bit. It's been mostly contained, but it is starting to get a little bit ragged. All right, come right up here. Unload this. All right. So this is what I'm going to try. Let's get Wade first. Let's finish the task that we're on. News, then timeline. You got it. Let's get Wade. There we go. And pull right up here. Let's try one more thing. I think I have tried this before, but let's try it again. All right, so we'll set the brake. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. Tasks. New task. What are we calling this? Field work, I guess. Field 11. Asta, as always. The MB track. The weight. The loading. Nope. The loading wagon. It's one of the three. Select destination. So it's not field work. Is it harvesting? No implement for harvesting. Is it transport? Select field. Destination after field work. Yeah, it can't be field work because we can't set the BGA pit as a destination. It can't be transport because we can't set field 11 as our pickup point. It can't be harvest because we don't have an implement for harvesting. Yep, I did try that before. I was trying to think of a way that we could have one of our workers gather up the swath, but I do think I tried that before and I wasn't able to get it working before, or now for that matter. But I'm curious if when we interrupted Asta while she was raking, if she came back and only did what was not raked yet. I assumed she would just do the entire field using the same pattern, but maybe the AI is smart enough to see where they've already worked. And what that would mean is you could start on one side of the field. How would that work? You could start on one side of the field, they could start on the other, but I guess you wouldn't know what side they would start on. Does that make sense? Hey, you know what? I just noticed something. Our frame rate is actually going up as the sun is setting. Curious. All right, well, let's throw some more lights on. So we'll go front work lights and rear work lights. Yeah, that taxes it a little bit. A little bit. Okay. Let's find a good row here. How about this one? Yeah, we're low 20s now. Now we are looking towards sort of the center of the map, and we are looking toward the farm where we have all that equipment piled up. And I know I always called it yard lag, but I know in Farm Sim, as your operation grew, when you ended up with 50 or 60 different purchased items in your yard, the game could get a little laggy. Let's see what happens when we turn around and we're not facing. Yeah, we don't really pick up any frame rate, but it does smooth out a little bit. It's not stuttering quite so badly. All right, that's like half a row. Yeah, we should probably get that. There's some decent grass over there. I mean, we haven't made any money yet. I think we've spent €500,000. We haven't made any money. Well, I mean, we sold our barley, but we haven't made any money. And I'm already at the point where I'm like, oh, I'm not worried about getting all that grass off the field. I'm in a hurry. Gotta be thorough. Gotta be efficient. Where's that? Here it is over here. I also just noticed in the display. Now we're bringing all this in on the same day that we mowed it, but we've got field grass silage +1, and then down below it says includes 35% field grass. So what's the difference between field grass silage and field grass? And does that have anything to do with why our New Holland was not working properly? Unknown. All right, a couple more rows here. As far as I know, all this grass was at the same it was all in the same state when we mowed it. I guess. I don't know. I'm sort of perplexed right now. All right, and I'm going to make some wide turns and just come at these from the end rows till we're done. The tractors do, the frame rate is low right now, but the tractors do drive pretty smoothly, and they do have a really nice feeling of weight. I really do feel like I'm driving something. Oh, hang on. What is... Spotify, what are you doing to me? Sounded like the soundtrack to a video poker machine. Ooh. That was rough. The game really lends itself to first person in a way that Farm Sim never did for me. I always played Farm Sim third person. I think it could be because the interior of so many of the tractors was really not very good. I got the feeling that the game was meant to be played third person, and they didn't necessarily put a ton of time into the interiors. Some of them were kind of nice, but a lot of them were really, you know, not good. We'll just leave it at that. Not good. But I think the interior of these tractors looks a little better. And the steering and handling and physics is a little different. But the game, I don't know. It's just always felt very natural to play it first person. More so than Farm Sim. Could be the track IR. Could be that it's just the only way I've ever really played it. But it does seem to work for me. All right. I don't know how your OCD is, but we do have a couple little bits of grass here and there, and I'm not going to worry about them. I'll just not. I think it's because I've picked up enough damn grass. I did not think we were going to do this all by hand, but we did. Yeah, same, Ernie. It just feels, I don't know. It feels more like you're driving an actual vehicle rather than playing a video game. And I always have to clarify, I am not bad-mouthing Farm Sim, that franchise, in any way. But it's a different kind of sim. Compared to this, it is very different. All right, so we'll turn that off. And we will also turn off our lights. I know, Max. Normally I would, but the episode has not gone the way I thought it would. I feel like we lost the first 30 minutes kind of dicking around. But we'll take a look at the volume that we got. I mean, if anything, we do have to do some research, and we do have to see what happens when you leave things on the field. So it's possible that those will be hotspots of fertilized area, because that organic matter decayed down into the soil. It could just sit there. I assume it will decay and go away as happens with seasons, but I don't know that. So we'll let that sit there. Just those small few areas. We'll let that sit there and see what happens to it. And also the areas that didn't get cut, there are a couple little places by the edge of the field. I assume that will wither come cold weather, but I don't know that. So we'll need to wait and see. All right. There's our weight. Oh, those displays look nice at night. Look nice at night. Yeah, use your words. Sound it out. And I feel like this is probably about as high as... Whoa! What were you saying? I feel like this is about as high as we can go in this pit at the moment without compacting. I feel like we need to get a handle on this little mountain we're building here, or we're not going to be able to make any more passes down the length of it. So regardless of whether we had any grass left to pick up in the field, we would have had to compact this. All right. Done. It is a very satisfying feeling finishing a big kind of pain in the ass task like that in any game. But Farm Sim, I say Farm Sim, we're going to need to come up with another word for it, because Farm Sim, it's the name of a genre, but it's also the name of a franchise, you know? But in these types of simulations, how about that? In these types of sims, I feel like there are some very unique, tedious tasks that you might not get in other sims. And when you're done with them, it definitely feels nice. All right, let's get this closed. It is 7:45, so let's sleep for 12 hours. All right, so everything is gone now. That's gone. Yep, that stuff's all been returned. Our workers are gone. Let's take a look and confirm. All right. So if we look here now, staff should be only Asta. We don't need these people. You're out, kid. Asta is this is the backbone of our operation. All right. So let's bring this over because we will need it. All right. Let's get this open. Hop in here. I don't know how this is going to go. I hope it goes well, but I think the last time I did it in the big class, I mean, MB Track it's not a small tractor, so I think it'll be okay. But let's figure this out. All right, so we're gonna hop out here. First thing we'll do is get this thing sent down. They really do. And that's one of those things, every time I see them do that, I feel like that is, we want biogas plant, we're going to rent for, say, 2 hours. Every time they do that, I feel like that's not necessarily like a slap in the face to that other Farm Sim franchise, but that other Farm Sim franchise is not known for great traffic. Okay, 600,000 liters. I thought we'd be at 7. So that's not terrible. And we're at 47.8% average compaction. So we're half compacted just from driving over this while we were unloading. I think we're going to get this done fairly quickly. Okay. Now, I forget from the tutorials, can we see how close we are to being at 100% while we're in the pit? Or do we have to hop out and take a look periodically? And I'm going to go third person for this. Okay, got that hooked up. let us confirm. We want four-wheel drive on. Right? No, we want it on. Diff lock, do we want to mess with that? Let's try it without and see how we do. All right, here we go. Let's do a few passes and we'll get out and see what kind of progress. Let's do, we'll do 5 passes. So this is 2. It's my least favorite part of this or any other farm sip. All right, that is pass number 3. So this is 4. And we are just running up against something right there. I think it's that little bump right there, so we'll try to get rid of that. So this is pass number 5 that we're on right now. All right, let's see how we did. We were at 50%. 49.8. Call it 50. So we'll set the brake, hop out of here. All right. Oh, there it is. Is that right? It went down? Is that right? It was 48.9. Now it's 48.1. Stand by. Can we... Certainly hope we can. Can we... task... New task. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do. BGA filling. I don't think we can. I think we have to do this manually. Oh, game. Why do devs do this? I don't get it, man. No valid implement. Yeah, not gonna let us do it. Okay. All right. What? All right. My monitor just went black. Are we still streaming? Yeah, I think we are. All right. Is it time to replace the old monitor? You know what? I'm always looking for excuses to buy new equipment. So we're going to make another 5 passes, and if our total doesn't start going up, I'm not sure what the next step is. I mean, is there... You know, I just thought of something. I just thought of something as we're doing this. Oh, hang on. I gotta have a sip of water. I just thought of something. What if we can't put this in a pit? Because there's a price to sell this down at the harbor. What if grass can't go in the pit? It's only for maize. I mean, at least we know where it all is, right? It's all in the same place. I think that may be the case. All right, we're gonna make 3 more passes, and if our total compaction is not lower, well, no. Let me not get ahead of myself, because if we couldn't put this in a pit, if it couldn't be compacted at all, then it wouldn't be at 50% as it is now. I'm just sort of confused. All right, that was 3. That was 4. Yeah, I don't know of any country in the world where you can't make silage from grass. So I'm pretty sure we're in the clear here, but I've been known to make mistakes. All right, that was 5. No, I'm sorry, that was 4. This will be 5. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think you can everywhere. I think you can. Now, another possibility is we need that meter to count down, not up. Let's get flipped around here. I was really surprised to see the number go down. All right. I forgot to do the door. My bad. Let me see where we're at here. Give me a good number. 49.4. You've got to be kidding me. So 5 passes for every 1%, 50%, 250 passes? Is there a way to automate that? God, we have to do this manually? No. There's got to be a way. Hang on now. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Is there anything down below? No? Oh. I mean, let's do 5 more passes. And we'll see. I don't know if that number is progressive. If it goes up faster, the more compacted it gets. I think you can put the cover on now. You just won't get very good silage. Now I'll do that off camera. I mean, I struggle to keep it interesting as it is. I'm not going to make you sit here for an hour and a half and watch me drive back and forth on a pile of grass. That's madness. But I will have to do it off camera. And that is gonna suck. I don't know if it would have made any difference if we smoothed these layers out as we were unloading. It may. I think I remember something from the tutorial. Professor Farmstein saying you might want to hit this with a roller like every few trailers full. Could be wrong about that. But I think you want to do that in real life as well, don't you? Yeah, maybe. Oh, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's live internet. It's not all going to be gold. This is... I don't know. I mean, because even in course play, you can hire a worker to clamp your pit. All right. Well, we'll see. It could be, like I said, that once you begin to get a handle on the high spots, the number goes up faster. Don't know. But if that is the case, how long have we been going? Yeah, we've been going 2 hours. Almost 2.5. So if that is the case, I will finish this up off camera. We'll do a couple more passes and take a look. Yeah, my main concern was we had spent all that time and all that effort bringing 500,000 liters of cut grass to the wrong place. Yeah, and I feel kind of bad I left all those high spots in there because that's really kind of immersion breaking to see the tractor sort of bouncing over them like that. It's not super realistic. All right. Let's hop out and have a look. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay, so that was 5 passes and we went up 0.5%. So either we're doing something wrong or this is just a really tedious part of the game. It's an interesting coincidence because this is my least favorite part of Farm Sim. And there's really no workaround. Course play, if you can get it to work, to compact the pit, but there's really nothing you can do other than just do it. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera. Yeah, I'm curious. Let me try something. Let's do this. Let's go over here. I'm going to lower this. Drop it. Pull this in here. Let's try the big uns and see how they do. Because, I mean, when I think of the MB track, to me, the MB track is a really big tractor. I mean, it's not a quad track or anything, but it's a pretty big tractor. Oh, you know what? I left it running. Hang on. There we go. So if we go, and we're going to run out of money. We're down to 14 grand, and that's after selling equipment. If we go here, go over here, go here, and we want this to go to the BGA, 4 hours. All right, rent that, and we're going to rent another one of these, 4 hours. Rent that, and then we go to the fleet. 1201, rented until 946. 1201, we want this thing. Add a few hours to that. Okay. So now, let's see if this is any better. And I think we can put one on the front and one on the back. We're going to try that. If that rig doesn't get it done more quickly, then I don't know. All right, get this closed. About here. Can we put this thing on the front? Is that... Oh. Moment. We're on the wrong side. we? Yeah, we're on the wrong side. Okay, let's try with the correct orientation and see if this matters. I think we can. I can't imagine that the linkage on the front is any different than the one on the back. Beautiful. All right. And we'll get this one hooked up. Yeah, because we're at 50%. I don't know. And then the other possibility, like I said, is that you can't ever really compact grass. That it was never supposed to be here in the first place, and we were just supposed to sell it down at the harbor. I don't think that's the case. But I've been wrong before. All right. I mean, if this doesn't do it. All right, four-wheel drive. What do we want? Turn on four-wheel drive. Are they not already full? Turn on front diff lock. Turn on center diff lock. Turn on rear diff lock. Are they not already full? Is there a way to fill them? Empty tank. Okay. So that's one. And then if we go here. Empty tank. I think they're both full. Because they both give me the option to empty. So I think that means they're full. I think. All right. We were at 50%. Oh dear. Now we got it. Okay. So that was 2 passes. This is 3. We'll do 5 again. All right. 3. That's 4. This will be 5. Now, if you do empty the water out, do you have to go to a water source to fill it up again, or can you just tell it to fill? Right? Like if you have a broadcast spreader and you empty it, the fertilizer doesn't land on the ground or anything. It just sort of magically goes away. Is adding and removing water from those rollers the same kind of process, or do you have to go to a water source? Yeah, I don't think this crop type belongs in here. I really don't. Or is that as good as it's going to get? I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts here? Because what we can do, I mean, we can try to put a cover on it and then take it off again. Interesting. Okay, we'll take a look at that again. Sort that out. But in the meantime, does this even belong in here? I'm very concerned. Now, it's not that big a deal because I think we can. Harbor has a water tank. Okay, cool. Cool. Now, we can we can have one of our workers transport this down to the harbor and sell it. But we just did 5 passes with that rig right there, and our compaction did not go up at all. Or is that just as good as it gets? Well, let's cover it and see. Well, let's see if we even can cover it, and then see how we do. 1 month, 28 days. Okay. I mean, all right. Let's sleep for 10 days. Let's sleep for 10 days. All that equipment is going to go away, so we're good there. Let's sleep for 10 days. We'll see how this is progressing. And let's see how our fields look after 10 days. All right. Man, there's a lot to figure out in this game. I love it. But again, none of it feels frustrating. None of it feels broken. None of it feels, you know, disappointing. It is what it is. Okay, so we're at 20%. Let's take a look at our fields and see how they're doing. Fields that we own. Interesting. Right, this was at... Now, this one is significantly higher. This BBCH is at 80. This one's 38. This one's 52. But field 23 is the one where they would not let us... We couldn't apply any chemistry. So, unknown. I don't know. I mean, I don't think these fields are growing. We can... Let's take a look. We can tab fast travel to Asta. Right. Turn the lights off. If I can find them. Yeah, there they are. Turn the lights off. Let's hop out and go down and look at those fields and see if they visually do anything as we... I don't know how I ended up with one button mapped to 2 things. All right, we'll go take a look at those fields and see if we can, like, visually observe them doing anything as we advance time. And they don't need to be planted again, do they? No, grass grows back. I hope it does. Well, we've got the equipment to plant it again if we need to, but it was my understanding that it just grows and grows. Yeah, that looks like it was when we left it, and it is early September now. All right, let's go 25 days. Let's go till October 1st. 25 days. There we go. All right, it is growing again. So that is, I don't think we're going to get another harvest this year, but it is growing. Now, what's our chemistry look like? I'm guessing it's going to be a mess. Yeah, absolutely bottomed out. Okay, it's October. I don't think this grass is going to grow again this year in a way that we can harvest it. Next question is it going to die and wither over the winter? And then we start fertilizing it in the spring, or do we need to fertilize it now? Let's find out. I mean, this is going to be, these are all going to be at 0 by spring. So let's just explore that and see how it works out. So we go back to the PGA. See how this is doing. Hop out here. All right. We're down to 10 grand, but we're making it. 60%. 24 days remaining. All right, so let's try this. We're going to sleep for 25 days. This will be done. All right. That's done. So now we need to go here. We need to buy one of these. $4,000. Oh, all right. We might have to. Let's do this first. Let's sell the plow. Sell that. 22 grand. Yeah, we can lease it if we need it again. But at the moment we need this more. So we're going to buy this. And we're also going to buy one of these. Buy that. Is that right? Okay. And now we're going to tell Asta. Tasks. New task. And this is transport. Yep. Asta in the little Aryan. Front loader. Bucket. Should probably put a weight on the back. Nah, we'll be okay with that one for now. Okay. And right. And then add station. GP. It's not the digestate pump. What is... I know this is possible. Because it's part of the tutorial. Unload. Hang on. Are we doing this wrong? We want to... No valid implement. Yeah, so that's not working. BGA filling. BGP bunker. Nope, that's not working either. Okay, it's not field work, is it? No. I was very confident there was a way to do this. Is there not? Transport. It's not the digestate pump. That's where we pick up slurry. Oh, this is really... So we're going to unload. Yeah, no valid implement. How disappointing. That's something else we can't... Now... Hang on. That is a task, right? Wow. Okay. I thought for sure there was a way to do that. The only thing that I could think it would be is transport, and that doesn't seem to be a possibility, at least not with this setup. Try it one more time. No valid implement. Yeah, I don't... Okay. With this setup right here, I don't think this is possible at all. None of these... Yeah. none of the things that we can select up here get this little red warning off here. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to do it ourselves. This has really been... Things have not gone the way I thought they were going to go. But we do have... We've got 600,000 liters of silage. We've got 3 grass fields. In fact, let's finish up by doing that. We'll go back to here and walk down and take a look at these fields and see what color they are, how tall they are, and what their fertilizer levels look like. I imagine zeroed on everything. And I hope we don't have to unload 600,000 liters of silage, one 3,000 liter bucket at a time. Oh, game. It looks like, I mean, I don't think the quality is going to be very good. I don't think there's going to be very much of it, but it looks like this grass grew again, and we could harvest it if we wanted to. I'll definitely do that off camera because we just did a grass harvest, but it looks like it grew again despite the fact that we gave it no fertilizer. So if we look here, on fields that we own, field 23, yeah, 87%. No fertilizer. I don't think we're going to get a very good yield, but it did grow again. So we'll get another cut in this year. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I mean, maybe next episode we will harvest with the Jaguar. Maybe we can do that. Just mow it directly into a trailer driven by a worker and have them take it down there. Yeah, let's try that. We'll do that next time. All right. There's the sunrise. Very optimistic. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to do Euro Truck tomorrow. And then probably Cattle and Crops on Thursday. And then Friday, I don't know, maybe X-Plane. TGI Fly Day. No? You didn't like that one? No, I don't really like that one either. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. Take care, Fusion. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.